it.
We're going reverse.
I go there and it's gonna be bad vibes.
What? Why? Did you have like bad experience? Did someone take a girlfriend from the dock that they don't want to talk about?
Especially not from the dock. There's no one in the dock that can take my girl.
Nah, but
You know what it is, yeah? And the thing is, right, the dock, it looks, when you get into the dock,
yeah,
you see the uni, and it looks all like new and shit.
Yeah.
And the further you go in, the older it gets.
Scaldy. That's my problem with Drada as well. Scaldy looking down.
yeah. Nah, Jordan is just I don't know, man. All the buildings are just really hidden.
Yeah.
I'm like,
But yeah,
nah.
nah.
A92 and that. Well, yeah.
oh well,
I don't know. The dog just
that.
gives me bad vibes, man. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, when was the last time you were in the dock?
Oh, my sister used to live in the dock.
Who's your sister?
You're not gonna know her. Yinka.
How long you been living in the dock?
For a while now.
Yeah.
For a while.
Did you grow up in the dock?
Yeah, I did.
How was that actually?
It's alright. Like the thing is, like it's fun because of the college.
Mm-hmm.
So like during like when it comes to the school period or whatever it is, there's always like things going on.
Yeah.
But then when
I
it's
can
like,
imagine that.
but then when it's like summer, it's like, bro, dead.
Yeah, I can imagine growing up in a
dead.
uni town, especially if you're like of that age as well. Something's always gonna go on, and you can just go home after the event's finished.
Yeah.
It's like I'll pull up this.
Question:
and then go home
Did you
after.
guys beef travelers?
Yeah.
No, because everywhere I know, black people always beef the travelers.
Yeah. Now Taiwo ended it because one of them says it was one of them against one of us.
Oh
They said,
God!
pick your best. We'll pick our best.
Imagine.
Taiwo says this guy. He looks at the traveler and says that guy. Him. I'll fight him. He said him. Me, I'll fight him. It's all right.
Have you ever seen what's this movie Troy?
Yeah.
Troy,
You know, in the beginning where they're like where is it Achilles? Yeah, Achilles comes out and there's like these big armies and like everyone doesn't need to die. You get your best guy, we get our best man,
guy.
and they beef. Yeah, you know what? Bring back those days, man. Because why is it that if I fight you, I've got to fight your uncle. If I beat him, I've got to fight your cousin. If I beat him, I've got to fight your
Like
grandfather.
it never ends. Like
Bro.
it just keeps going on.
I know them man are fighting from the age of like 4.
But you know
Yeah.
that's what travelers do. They just pick out and then you go fight and you fight it out and that's it. That's the beef. That ended the beef.
Yeah,
don't
but
think so. I
I
don't
don't
think
like
so.
feds for that.
You know what?
I don't like feds for that because they'll see because I got he's a traveler guy that I went to school with and then I was working with later on, right? And he'd just be telling me stories about just weird shit that they'd be doing. Like he's like one time they were like having the bare knuckle thing. Feds pull up, they look, and they leave.
You know what? I actually hear it.
We-
I ain't getting paid enough.
Guy, we try to do New Year's events and there's helicopters outside. When you're supposed to be about the smoke, you're not about the smoke.
It's crazy still. It's crazy though.
Because humans, not you man, but us, there's nice things involved. For them, they don't just bare knuckle.
Nah,
No,
What?
bro.
Them-
I disagree.
That man will burn your house down, bro.
Bro, I disagree, bro.
Facts.
After a while, I was actually friends with him. Shout out Patty Lawrence and all that.
This is the thing, right? If a traveler fucks with you, they fuck with you heavy.
Yeah, heavy.
Too much.
Patty, Martin, and Michael.
Oh,
Boys
stop,
back in
man.
the days. I wonder how they do. Hope they're all doing good.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Joe Joyce and Davey and them, man. Yeah,
Those are your boys as well,
that's cool with them, yeah, man.
Bro.
Actually, I think his cousin is my neighbor now.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. But no, them man are cool, man. But what's poppin', Sha? How you guys?
How you doing,
I'm
bro?
good, man. How you doing, bro? So we're matching. See.
Yeah, I
See?
to see.
He didn't get the memo. Like,
Look,
you
to be
get me?
honest,
The yellow-
today,
You didn't
for
get
the
the
fact that
memo.
I'm even wearing color today, you should be happy. Black is my vibe.
When I left my house, they said this. My missus goes, "Look at you, Congolese man."
Yeah, look at you, whore, with your thighs out and all.
That's what she said. She said, "You're going out to hole with your shorts, with your legs out." I was like, "It's summer, man."
Bro, it's sunny. Like, what you mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Do you feel like you dress how you feel?
some days.
Because I don't know what that means.
I dress for what's appropriate.
Yeah.
Like, if we're recording here on a Wednesday in winter, I'm coming in a tracksuit and a hoodie.
Oh, 100%.
Like, there's no, I'm not dressing like, oh, I feel, even if I felt happy that day, I'm
no,
not dressing happy.
no, but like the thing is, like, even the weather like dictate how you feel sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. I dress for the weather a lot though. Like, we get what, maybe 2 good weeks of weather in Ireland. Like between
Like now,
and
like
mid-June.
now,
Bro.
like the
This
next,
is it?
the next like a week and a half is gonna probably start raining again.
Oh,
See?
oh, my
So
God.
Like,
when we get this
ridiculous.
window, I have my
Yeah,
legs out
why
all
not?
the
Why
time.
not?
Because
My thighs
you
are
know,
all
That's
over.
true.
Irish people, any little bit of sun, them man are topless.
Bro, barbecue, bro.
I was yesterday.
Did you see what happened yesterday? Like everyone was having barbecue, man. I'm like, what's
Yeah, I
going
was
on?
one yesterday, man. I'm getting lit.
I was like, when I was at DCU, that's how you knew the semester was coming to an end. It'll be April. It'll still be cold. But the minute you see sun, I start seeing like shorts out in DCU campus, I'm like, the semester's coming to an end.
You don't know
That's
what-
why it's coming to an end. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Did you listen to Council Estate Dreams? No, it's by Smiles. Because I want to talk to.
Oh, I haven't actually listened to that yet.
Yeah, no, I wanted to just talk about that small. I like the storytelling element of it.
Yeah.
I think he's a good storyteller, and again, he came on the pod and he says he had to explain to his fans where he was, what was happening in his life. So I do appreciate that he did give his fans that.
Yeah.
It was just for me. I felt it was a bit heavy in terms of the subject matters were good.
Yeah.
He was talking about like homelessness, fighting with his mom, his friends dying, and he's feeling the survivor's guilt.
Yeah.
So it's in terms of like rap and storytelling, and you know me, like J. Cole's my fave. So I usually like that kind of that rap. But I just felt that for this one, it was my introduction to him. Personally, I would have preferred something a bit lighter to listen to. That would have been more palatable, more digestible. Not that it was like bad or
So
anything.
basically, the track was too hard for you.
The subject ones were too heavy.
The thing is,
That's how I felt.
No, I can hear what you're saying, but I also think you listened to it at the wrong time.
Probably.
What you mean?
You were on your way trying to go catch a vibe.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to listen to that when I'm going to try and catch
No,
a vibe.
that also played the fact it was a Friday. Someone was out. I was driving into town, about to
Yeah.
go drink. I'm listening to like Survivor's Guilt, and I'm like, how is she? I almost lost my mom. Proud, and I was like, no, the boy can rap and he can tell stories through music and he can paint a picture, and his fans will appreciate this because if they followed his journey from the start and he fell off for 2 years and he's given an explanation, fine.
Like, what does that even mean? Like, fell off.
Well, I wouldn't say fell off. He just stopped putting out music.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool. That's what he said. He said for 2 years he was just not putting out music and he wasn't being active, and he felt like he needed to explain that through his music. Then.
Yeah. True.
We'll get
that's
back
okay.
to this follow-up thing because I have something to ask you about that. We'll get back to it.
But that's kind of like mine. Is like I like Go Shawty again because the Go Shawty is like more of like an American track. You can vibe to it. I was about to go catch a vibe. That's probably the track I need. I probably didn't listen to it.
Yeah, it's
right
like-
time.
Yeah, that's- I
I need
think-
to
I
go
think-
back and give it a listen. But upon that first listen, that's how I felt.
I think-
about it.
Yeah, I
like-
think you should like listen to it again because sometimes like when it comes to projects, like you need to listen to it like a couple of times to get it. Because sometimes artists like we're just in our own little world, like we're just doing whatever, and it takes like a bit of time to sort of understand what we're trying to say.
Yeah, no, I get it because. Again, like I said, it was music that you have to sit with in a certain mood and actually listen to it, take in what he's saying. I don't think you could play it like, especially the first half, anyways. You wouldn't like, oh, I'm doing the dishes, I'm doing laundry, let me put it in the background and just play and vibe to. You actually, it's one of those albums like a Kendrick album.
You have to,
just,
Yeah,
you
intentionally
have to
listen
sit
to it.
there and listen and take it in and maybe replay it.
Yeah.
And I can appreciate it. I did appreciate his storytelling element of it because I like that when you can take me through a journey through your music. I really like that. It's like even J. Cole's song "Wet Dreams." It's just talking about it was just storytelling, and it was obviously it was supposed to be a joke in the end. But it's like, okay, he took me through the journey, and I can appreciate that. So
Like funny thing with me, right? I actually rather the J. Cole of the sort of the singles sort of J. Cole rather than
the storytelling.
yeah, so
it's
yeah, for
heavy,
me
like-
anyway.
Yeah.
Because the thing's like we've moved into this like playlist era where like out of Council Estate Dreams, there's like I haven't listened. I do this thing now where I just put an album on and I don't actually know what the tracks are called and all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
But there's only a couple of them where I would put in my playlist. Like Council Estate Dreams, there's the title of the album is mixtape is Council Estate Dreams, but the intro track is also called Council Estate Dreams. Where he's talking about everything that happened. Like he was homeless, he lost his friend. He lost his friend the day that he dropped his song, which is fucking insane.
That's mad.
Bro, like I think even the voice note on it is his friend chatting to him before he died, kind of a situation. But
See,
like
when you're going to catch a vibe on a Friday night,
Nah, bro,
it's a bit heavy.
bro,
so maybe
bro,
I did listen to the wrong time. So I will go back and give it.
but yeah, but
more.
I'm not adding that to my playlist. Do you get what I'm saying? Like I'm not trying to listen to that all the time. But like something like Go Shorty, bro, slap down the playlist, man.
125,
Like
yeah,
I'm
Go
in the
Shorty,
car, everyone is chilling, we're catching the vibe, and I can't bring up some depressing shit now.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? So like, I do think it was good, great body of work. It was actually good. It was solid. Production was good. His music, he can rap. The boy can rap.
Yeah.
They got a bit of flows in there.
Yeah,
you know?
it does.
Some
And a big features from Maverick Sabre. Like, go comment and tell me what you guys thought about it. I still want everybody to go listen to it. To tell me if I'm wrong and tell me what you think. Or I want to hear you guys' opinion. And again, the boys are saying I probably caught the album at the wrong time.
Yeah, you did. It's not that you probably you did. You did.
you 100%
Fair enough.
did.
I will go back and listen and we can have this discussion anyways. But
Maybe
that's
after
what
your holiday though.
after my when you go and listen to this, I'm catching the vibe of the song.
To this guy.
Enjoy, though.
He's
Enjoy.
running away.
If you're listening to this at work, it's even better.
Yeah, okay, fam. Listen to this on the white man's time. Like,
Sorry, what did you say?
what's called? Do you consider yourself a fashion nigga?
No,
Yeah.
I don't.
Why not?
Do you think it's a fashion, nigga?
I'm asking.
No, I don't, because I feel like there's a lot when it comes to like the old fashioned whatever it is. I feel like you need to really dedicate like time into it. You know, do you get me? So I don't really dedicate time into like fashion like that. It's just just whenever. Do you get me? I don't really dedicate time, so I wouldn't really consider myself as.
Do you do TikToks on fashion?
No, I
Did you
don't.
say, get ready with me?
I do not do that. No, nah, man. Nah, it takes a lot of work. Like, shout out to like the guys that does it, bro. It takes a lot of work, bro.
That shit is
You
not
actually have
easy,
to
though.
Ridiculous.
It's like anything, but see, the thing is, you're saying so it takes a lot of work. People look at you and say music takes a lot of work.
I don't know how
Yeah.
to
You
do it.
want to do it, and it's
Yeah.
fun for you to do.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it takes a lot.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe
that's what I'm saying. Like, you need to
Yeah.
dedicate like time to it.
Yeah.
Do you get me? If you don't dedicate time to it, it's more of like even if you're trying to do it and you don't dedicate time to it, people could really see it that this guy is just doing whatever. Do you get me? You need to dedicate time to it, and it shows. Like, the result shows when you do dedicate time to
Do
it.
you feel like you're creative?
It's a good question.
That's a good question.
It's a good question.
Because we don't feel like we're creative.
I feel like I'm artistic, but probably not creative.
What? Okay, let's define this. What is artistic and what's creative?
I feel like creative is more of you being able to. I think it's in like an overall sort of approach to things in regards to how you sort of put things together, right? Making something out of nothing, and that comes with everything,
Okay.
right?
So
But
that's art.
I feel like that's creative.
Creative. Okay.
But I feel like when it comes to artistic, it's more of you having some sort of like a path to what you're good at. In a way, I feel like creative is like across the board, but I feel like artistic is more like there's more of like a direction to what you are. That's what I think.
Yeah.
But I could counteract that. If you make music, you're making something out of nothing.
Yes, you are, but like sometimes you're only good with making the music.
But to make the music, like, because I would call somebody that performs music, that has ghostwriters and stuff like that, an artist.
Yeah.
But not creative, because if you write the music, you got to experience it and see life in a certain way.
Yeah, true.
And experience it and be able to take that experience,
Yeah.
digest it, and then spit it back out.
Yeah.
To make a song.
But I'm saying, so what I'm saying in essence is that when it comes to like creative, right? It's more of like, if you're creative, you probably can do a lot of things. Being creative, right? But when it comes to being artistic,
Kanye is a creative.
do you get me?
Because
There's a lot
he
more that
choose,
goes on. There's a
choose, rap. Whereas you'll say maybe someone like J. Cole is an artist. Because it doesn't really do the fashion.
You get me? They just make the
Like,
songs.
I guess if we have to, because sometimes Deji, I'm with you. Sometimes I feel like we just have to give things labels. Or like, oh, these guys are podcasts or they're creatives.
Yeah.
Like, it's how we call it, the scene or the industry. I'm like,
Yeah, they could be creative industry.
yeah, there's like nobody's getting paid. Let us get paid for it to be an industry. Not nobody, but not all. A lot of us are not getting paid.
When I see niggas leaving their 9 to 5s and these guys are buying Rolexes and G wagons,
then
and shit like,
we can create an
that's-
industry.
then you're
Yeah.
seen.
But I understand the need to like give whatever's happening in Ireland right now,
like a
a title or a tag or the
Yeah.
scene or the industry. But for me, anyways, I look at it as like, we're just trying, sir.
No, creatives. Like, you guys are creating something. Like,
Yeah, we're just trying to
Yeah,
make
but
it.
I don't know. It's weird because like I feel like obviously the word creative has like this negative connotation to it now.
Do you?
Yeah.
I feel like it's like
negative.
I think
Yeah.
it has like a
Why?
bougie creative.
No, what's called
connotation to it.
because when you
I'm
think
a
about
creative.
when you say someone's a creative, you almost it's creative and weirdo are almost synonymous at this point. Like it's like them creatives. Do you
But,
get what I mean?
but creatives are weirdos
Are you a weirdo?
to some point. Yes,
I think
I feel like that. I feel like I feel like there is no, when it comes to creating, right? You can't. It's something out of the norm in a way, right? Of which you have to have some sense of weirdness to you to be able to think of
That
things
way,
like
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
Do you get me?
That's why I don't feel like a creative. Because I feel like when they say creative, I'm like, I'm just having a conversation on the mic.
Yeah.
I'm not creating anything. I'm creating maybe moments. I'm creating maybe conversation and entertainment. But I feel like musicians, like they're saying, they create like a song. It's like from your brain, from the producer to yourself to the mixing. That came together. We come here for the most part. We press play and we talk and we say, hey, I hope people listen.
okay,
But it's still being creative.
but
Fair enough.
Not everyone can be here and talk for hours.
yeah, and also the thing is, think about the podcast that you listen to for a long time and like what you've taken out of them. And like, because for me, there's things I've heard in podcasts that have actually applied to my real life, and that's actually changed my life in a different way. Do you get what I'm saying? So it could be creative.
I
in
guess
some
because
aspects.
if a song, some people like, there's certain songs that I know I've listened to for the first time. I'm like, that's changed my perspective on a lot of things. Like when I was Lights Please. He's talking about how he's a young man trying to express himself to a woman, the world, how he sees it. And it's like, I really want to talk, but she just wants to smash. Then and then I'm like, you know what? You get to a point where it's not, and the sex isn't enough anymore. And that's what I took from him. I was like, as young men, we think like, as long as I'm having, like, well, back then you're like, oh, I'm having sex, so I'm fulfilled. But it's like, that doesn't fulfill you. And I got that from a song. So like you're saying, this conversation that you might have, someone listens to, takes away the conversation, and takes, like Deji said, sometimes you have to slap someone.
Slap someone.
He said that earlier. He says that on the podcast last week. Go listen.
Oh, man.
He said sometimes niggas get slapped.
Yeah, because what's going like I feel like because the internet and the way the internet has gone, people don't have consequences for their actions anymore.
Yeah.
So like people feel like you can say whatever you want on the internet, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But bruv, I'm gonna see you.
I know your address. I'm coming to your house.
Yeah, I'm seeing you.
I can pull up, and no, it is a thing that because everybody's hides behind the screen. We said this again.
Yeah.
We're talking about a situation where Davy from Love Island was out, and someone had a camera on his face saying like, "Oh, you should let your girl catch a wine off my boy."
Oh yeah. I think
Did you see that? Yeah, and I'm just like, it's crazy to me because I know Dami shouldn't retaliate, and he can't retaliate because he's a public figure. He probably lose endorsements. It's in his best interest not to retaliate.
Yeah.
But we grew up in an era was if I was had a comment in your face say, "Hey, you should let my boy wine with your girl," you slap me, and everybody would be like, "What did you do?" Oh, I was feeling and saying that my boy should go. They say, "Oh, why are you doing that?" But in this era, it's kind of like, well, that's what happens. It's you get it's clout. It's corny. It's weird.
It's weird.
Yeah,
Speaking about like phones and cameras and shit, do you guys have any sex tapes that you've ever made?
This guy.
There's a reason why I'm asking.
No, I've done it. Yeah, I filmed content while having sex. They don't exist anymore.
Okay. Jordan said, "Don't log into my iCloud."
They don't exist. Well, haven't we all?
No, I haven't.
No, you've never.
For security reasons, bro. For security reasons. No.
Because obviously T on all this shit got leaked.
Yeah, that's mad.
Did you all see that? They said his meeting was meeting. Pause. That's what.
Bro.
They said his meat was a meeting, man. I was looking at it. I was like, I thought that was a good size. But then the internet was telling me, it's like, this
Wait.
you're new to this. Big talk.
No, I seen it, but I'm like, nah, I'm not speaking on this.
The internet said his meat was a meeting. I was like, what?
Bro.
Nah, internet is a crazy place, bro.
Bro, the internet is a wild place, bro.
Crazy place.
But no, I don't know, man. Do you remember there was an era where people were recording bears?
Yeah.
Like, bro, I remember there was one time I was in college and I was just trying to get to my lecture right JJly. I get a snap from one of the boys. I open the snap. This nigga's getting head. I'm just like,
wait, I think that was when like Snapchat was still
When Snapchat was new,
Yeah.
and you couldn't replay or screenshot.
Yeah, I think that was when Snapchat was still like sort of
there
new.
was
Yeah.
so much crud that was being sent, and do you know what was weird? Yeah, because boys would send this of the girl, and you're like, all right, that's what you're on. Fair enough. Maybe you shouldn't record it. Whatever. And then they wife this girl, and you're like, what this you've sent the group, you've sent everybody in the group this content. Now that's your babes. Fair enough.
also,
it is what it is.
But remember, that was a time where niggas were recording women without women knowing that they were recording.
Of course, that's what I'm saying. That's like it was a
That time was
weird,
bro.
weird time.
Wow.
Niggas are weird. But why do you even want to send? Why are you sending that to me?
It's what we were saying earlier about Lukaku on the last episode about Lukaku. It's once
Bro,
guys,
I didn't see that coming. I did not see that coming. I was like, Lukaku and...
yeah. No, because what we were saying last week on the previous episode was people will slander Lukaku and then he starts dating Meg, the stallion.
Yeah.
And then now the whole time's like, oh, he has aura, whatever. So, and now it's easy for someone to see like, oh, if I date a pen girl, I can get validation of men. Because if boys like Meg, Lukaku's dating Meg, now I rate you because you're dating Meg.
Yeah.
So some boys, their mindset was, oh, if I am getting head of a pen girl and my boys know it, I can get validation of men. That was the connection.
I don't need video evidence. If you tell me, I'm gonna believe you.
Bro, some people lie, bro.
For the same reason, because they want validation of their boys.
Bro, man, them niggas are weird, bro. Like, you know, the more and more I live and the more and more I find about niggas are weird, man.
Yeah.
Like, man, they're just weird.
Let me plug in the intro. I want to ask you something real quick now. Anyways, we are here. We are Charge It to the Game. This is the podcast with the highest level of knowledge about your needs. I'm Uncle J, but you mans can call me Jordan. I'm here with...
You know, it's your girl's favorite voice, Big Deji, nigga with the Midas touch.
One day, guess is not gonna laugh at that intro.
Everybody laughs at the intro.
And I'll be happy that who you're with.
Well, I'm Tomad. You can also call me Lord Sugar, aka Lord Sugar. Yeah,
Come on.
you get me.
Are you not saying Lord Sugar's name?
What?
Lord Sugar, Alan Sugar. Are you not gonna?
No, forget about that one. Don't worry.
He
Yeah,
doesn't have,
yeah.
he doesn't have the minerals to call himself.
You get me, like, bro.
The other day I was working from home. Yeah, I was scrolling through Insta as you do, and I see you're on a live. You're doing
Oh yeah. When was this?
Thursday or Friday.
Oh
Whatever.
yeah.
So I'm working from. I'm on a live, and you're talking about men's mental health.
Oh yeah. It was actually confirm. So it was just
Yeah.
talking about was just on his live and I
Yeah,
was
but
like,
by the time of lockdown was a huge Faris. I think Naomi's Jamira for name.
yeah, and then confirm as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're just talking about like, men's mental health. We're just saying that that what do I think of it or what
Yeah.
not. So we're just really just speaking on it in regards to like we just because of the whole suicide sort of like rate and stuff with men and stuff. So we're just really just talking about it in regards to like we just feel like when it comes to things like that, like a lot of the times it's terms for like when it comes to people comparing their life to other people.
Yeah.
And it's more
That's
of
when I logged in actually.
yeah, it's more of like just people just really just need to like just understand that your life is a journey. Like you can't because what's gonna take you like 10 years to achieve might take me 2 years to achieve. That does not really mean like you're better than me or I'm better than you. It's just time.
Time, yeah. And
Yeah.
time and circumstances.
Yeah, well, it's
Yeah.
the internet that fucked that up.
Yeah, true.
People forget, like, I think it's one of those things, you know, that everyone thinks, like, oh, everybody's a celebrity nowadays.
Yeah.
But not really. Like, it's like less than 1% of the population. But because of the internet, we see everybody's highs. Like, the internet
then-
is so weird.
Not really only internet though, because we were even speaking on the live. They were saying that I don't know who brought it up. Was saying that don't we think like parents as well contribute to that as well in a way?
And with our mental health,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah.
Do you get me? Because a lot of the times like African parents anyway like they tend to sort of compare your life to.
Pastor's kid.
Do you get me? Like look at that guy is doing. Do you get that kind of a
Look
thing?
at your mates.
So it's mad. So I feel like it's like a cultural thing. I think as well too. That I feel like
Because that's why you're like, when I logged in, that's why because
Yeah.
the girl on the time she was speaking, she's like, as a man, I can't speak for your experience and what you men go through. And obviously, then the conversation went into biblical and
Yeah.
also
Oh.
just everything. Yeah, everything is just about.
was
like,
well left
yeah,
after
because
that.
I knew he was coming on the pod.
well
Let me
left.
stay on this live for 10 minutes.
That was well left after that, bro.
Conversation
I'm like,
out of
please,
this.
oh.
Because it is what we do is we're all African here. What we do is the culture and the religion aspect. We gotta intertwine. They started being blurred lines. It started getting confusing, and it is
Because I was almost telling, I think it was Naomi or someone, I don't know who it was on live, but like, yeah, like, religion is cool and stuff, but sometimes, because I know that we do attach everything to like prayer and stuff,
yeah.
but sometimes you don't really need to pray for some certain things. I feel like when it comes to things like sometimes like you do have what you need to resolve an issue rather than praying about it. Because even if you pray, God will be like, wait, guy, I'm already giving you everything you need. Like, why are you coming to
God
me
is
for?
looking at, what is he looking at me
Like,
for?
what are you coming to me for? Like, you have everything already. So I feel like it's just matter of just like, I feel like when it comes to religion and stuff, we need to understand and sort of like separate things that you can't pray for and things that you can actually solve by yourself.
No,
Even though everything needs prayer, but still.
I agree with that. It's like, I understand there are certain things that are in your control, and understand like when you feel powerless and you feel like I need something to look hope from.
Yeah.
you pray. But there's definitely things that like that's in your control.
Yeah.
Like it's like when men would cheat and they say, "Oh, it was the devil. brother."
Bro, I
It's like, my
beg.
nigga.
I beg.
You've cheated 17
I
times.
know, yeah.
That was
We know you're on these streets, like.
Do you guys feel like men's mental health suffers because we almost attach it to accomplishments? Remember I was telling you, like, so a while ago I was saying that, like, you know, everything that you've ever wanted, yeah? Like, there was a stage when you were in school where you didn't care what car you got.
Yeah.
I just want a car.
Yeah.
Then you get that car, but it doesn't feel the same. Then it's like, you know what? I want the BMW. Then you get that BMW and it doesn't really feel the same. Or I want those shoes. And I want this. If we constantly attach our mental health to accomplishments and shit like that, but every time we accomplish it, it never feels right.
Yeah.
Are we not just doomed then?
I feel like it's just like success or whatever it is more of like a drug, to be honest, because it's like once you get something, you want the next thing.
Yeah.
And that is well, it's not really a problem because sometimes it's more of like motivation, right? But then when your sort of happiness kind of depends on what you can achieve, then it becomes a problem.
I said once you attach your happiness with attaining things, again, it's literally the story of Love Yours in that song. Like, you're rising through.
Why is everything about J. Cole with you?
Don't mind the guy, man.
Because that literally what you guys are saying is like everything you attain something, and if you're attached with like your happiness is tied to that thing that you've attained. Once you obtain it, what happens then?
You go to the next thing. Like there is too many things on this earth, like with cars. There's always going to be a newer car. With
Yeah.
women, there's always going to be a differently pretty woman. With
House
jobs, there's
always gonna be a
gonna
bigger house.
There's always going to be more money. Do you get what I'm saying?
money.
So it's kind of like
Like they always say,
more money, more problems.
mama, no problems.
So you gotta learn.
So mental health check. How's you guys?
And they also say like the only problem with having too much money is more money.
Literally,
Mm.
because there is a $50 million yacht, but there's also 100 million.
Yeah.
Then there's a 200 million.
Just, do you get me?
Do you get what I'm saying? But mental health check. How's you guys' mental health, or how's it been over the past? Let's even just say this year.
No. This year's actually been good over the part. I do have moments where I do get very anxious and anxiety comes at me, and like the thing is, because of all these conversations and because of listening to Charlemagne for years, I am self-aware of like when I'm feeling
that
anxious.
guy.
You go say, hey.
Oh,
Yes.
bro, that guy, man.
Like, if this was maybe 15 years ago, I could understand when these conversations weren't happening. 15, 20 years ago, when these conversations weren't happening, I can understand when men wouldn't understand what's happening in their heart or their bodies, and they're just feeling anxious.
Yeah.
But because we've had so many dialogues, so many conversations, when I am feeling anxious or feeling overwhelmed by life, I know what's happening in that moment. And I'm kind of like, I calm down, I take a minute, I will text about it, or talk about it, or tweet my private story. Let's say, look, I'm feeling anxious right now. I just let it out.
Yeah.
I just let out that feeling, like that's what I'm feeling.
Don't you think? Like,
But I know what it's down to also. That's
Yeah,
the thing.
but like,
I know what it's
don't
down
you think that it's crazy, right? Where when it comes to like most of our problems, right? That I think it starts off by like our mental. It's all in our head most of the time.
Yeah.
Do you get me? It's not really like real problems, like physically, but it's more of like we just really just think about things
Yeah.
in some
And
weird ass way that I'm like, oh god, I didn't
But that's
expect
'cause,
you.
like your whole universe lives in your head. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, like we're all three of us are in this room, but we're all having a different experience.
Yeah,
like,
true.
you get what I'm saying? Like, we can go, like, we're all doing the exact same thing, but I'm hanging. You've got whatever you got to do. You've got whatever you got to do. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like, so it has to start in your head. There's no other place it could start.
And an element is, I think, older I've gotten, an element like there's a lot of things are evolutionary that we just don't pay attention to. Your body is constantly trying to protect you. That's what like, at the end of the day, we forget that we're animals. So
Not you saying it like that.
we do forget that we're also an animal, and
But I get you,
what we're supposed to do is, when we think of the worst case scenario, the worst situations, it's just our brains also preempting the information to be like, we need to, this might happen, we need to deal with it. But the amount of time that we've thought about worst case scenario and it's never happened, it's actually very small. You think of like, I had a project going on at work, and I was like constantly anxious. I was constantly thinking about it, like, fuck, it might go wrong. And they're telling me you're acing it, it's going well, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, why was I anxious? But it's just me thinking like, okay, I need to preempt it in case it goes wrong. This is what I need to do, this is what I need to do.
Basically, just preparing yourself for the worst. Like,
And that's what we do at all times. And it's sometimes I think it's about being aware of why I'm anxious or why I feel this way. And I guess how you feel.
So it's
why,
more of
why
like-
have you been feeling so anxious?
It's just life is just at a stage where like a lot is happening right now in my personal life and in work, and I'm just like, okay, I know why I feel anxious, and I talk about it with the right people, but you can't help the feeling. If my brain is just constantly like, okay, there's things that are happening that I just need to look out for. Yeah, how are you getting on mentally in this year?
nah, I'm good. Like it's been, I mean, great. Like for me, it's more of like the way I think about things. Like I say, like life is a journey. Like when it comes to, just take it a step at a time. Do you get me? Like I haven't been in a good place like recently. Like just in a happy place, just being me, just having fun with it. Do you get me? Because I feel like when it comes to life, bro, don't take life too seriously, man.
No, yeah, for you.
Bro, don't take life, because at the end of the day, like life don't really stop for you. Life moves on. Do you get me?
Quick.
Just so once you know that, you're like, so why am I even worried for? Like,
Yeah, and an example like that
Do
at
you
work
get me?
is like someone's there 10 years and they do so much at work, and they're leaving. You're thinking like, this place is gonna fall apart when that person leaves.
No.
You come in on Monday, by Tuesday it's like it just
Yeah,
keeps
you're
going.
just a
it
number.
just keeps going. You're like, oh, right.
We just won't mention that person ever again.
I was like, I thought that person was carrying the team, but I guess the job just keeps going. But how are you getting on mentally, bro?
I don't know, it's weird. Like, I feel like there's two sides, right? There's a side of like accomplishments and doing things, which is probably the best it's ever been. And then there's this other side of like, I feel like I've had a perspective change over the past 6 months or something. So it's like, on one part, everything on paper is perfect, it's calm. Then on another part, it's like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just weird.
So like feeling like you could do more than you're doing.
Or
or
you
what?
feel like you could lose what you're already happening.
I feel like the way that I've worked myself, I'm pretty secure in where I am, that those things aren't really going to be taken away from me. And even if it was like, okay, like with work, right? Granted, I'm making the most money I've ever made, but I've also gotten to myself where I've worked for so long and I've done this for so long that even if I was to leave this job and my pay was to go down, it's not going down crazy. Do you get what I'm saying? So like, I'm not really afraid of losing money from work, because you probably know as well. Like,
Yeah.
I don't wait. What do you work as?
Me,
Yeah. Engineer. If you guys leave your job today, you know that there's money wherever you can go anywhere, you make money.
Yeah.
So it's like losing your job isn't as serious as it was back in the day where like jobs were really scarce and shit like that. You know, like, bro, if these people fire me, I'll slap my CV on LinkedIn. I'll be back with another job soon. Oh, actually, speaking of jobs, did you see that Femi got fired?
Yeah. You know, Femi the artist. He's cool with Plantain as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Femi. Yeah.
What's going? He put up a TikTok and he was like, "Oh, POV, you guys stream my song, so I don't have to work for the white man." They saw it at work and fired him.
Really?
Yeah.
Point of view, because he put the song.
Because I seen a few of those posts like on his TikTok, because I follow him on TikTok.
Yeah.
He put it on Twitter that they fired him because someone at work complained.
Oh, wow.
Because I know people that always tweet after white man. I can't believe I have to work for the white man of today.
Apparently, he was racist.
Yeah, that's why they fired him. They said it because they said that it's racism.
Nah, that's tough, bro.
That's what the internet. This is crazy.
You know what, though? I'm not
mad.
gonna lie to you. So at a certain point in my life, I started just looking at shit, and in life, I'm like, when something crazy happens, I'm like, when I write that book here, it's gonna be fine. you know what? Because like, you know, when he like, and then I lost my job. Because the thing is, when he pops, he's like, I was just trying to promote my music. I did.
Bro, that's
I
wild.
even asked him on Twitter. I was like, "What if he says someone saw it and they went to complain about it?" It's like my colleagues. If I saw one of my colleagues and they had a TikTok saying like, "I can't believe I have to work with black people," I'd be like, "Yo, that's crazy." Wow. But I don't even know if I'll go report it. I'm like, I work with you.
And the thing is, like, TikTok is more of like, it shows almost everybody. Like,
But you know what?
That's the problem.
Is it because we grew up with this no snitching culture?
Maybe. Snitches like, our parents used to be annoyed, like, if you snitch on your sibling, my parents would be like, annoyed at you for snitching on your sibling because you're supposed to protect each other.
Yeah.
You know? So if I saw, like, madness from one of my, like, I'll have to see, like, the N-word for me to
And even with the hard ER as well.
like, yeah. But if it just says, like, work with black people again, I'm like, yes, I work with you. That's crazy.
You know what? Wait. Are you talking about me?
Bro, that's crazy now. 'Cause I didn't even know that.
Insane.
Yo.
That's why I be tweeting in my circle. I said, yo, keep it in your circles, man.
Yeah, but you know there's snakes in the circle too, bro.
Yeah,
Bro,
no,
yeah,
there's
like,
snitches everywhere.
When
There's snakes
someone
everywhere.
is snitching to your wife about something you tweet in a circle.
You have to do that. I was watching New Black City, that meme with Wesley Snipes where he's crying. He's shooting his boy. That's what you gotta do.
But no, Tommy, let's get into some shit, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
So, the reason why I told you I'll get back to the fall-off topic is because obviously you're a part of a duo, 2F Click.
Yeah.
And people saw that you guys reached a certain level of notoriety.
Yeah,
whatever,
definitely.
and disappeared for a while.
Yes. What happened?
No, like, okay, what timeline are you talking about now?
What's the last song you guys released together? Was it Sugar?
Yeah, well, Sugar, right?
Because
Yeah.
it looked like they got to a place where niggas started putting money in music, and like the music video was clean, everything like that.
Yeah.
So it's like we saw you reach here,
Yeah.
and then fell off the face of the earth.
No, I won't say fall off. It was more of like, because we went to Nige for like 2 years or so.
I heard that.
So it was more of like, so actually the plan was, funny thing. So before Sugar, right? So after we did like our initial release and stuff, like it was going good and everything. So we actually was just trying to improve on when it comes to the music. So we had to like reach out to different producers and stuff. So we got working with someone, which is not Boy, was worked with Wiz afterwards and so on. So he did like the beat and everything. So what I do normally is I would go to Simbers, I would just record like different songs, different hooks and stuff. So Beezy was around that summer. Then I was like, oh bro, we've been making music for like God knows out when, like we don't even have a song together. They were like, oh yeah, come, let's just do something. So we sent him like a few samples and we picked down Sugar, right? But the plan was that we wanted to release something before we leave to Nigeria for a bit, because we just wanted to go there to just really learn how it's done. Because we feel like when it comes to music, it's like when it comes to the Afrobeat anyway, like I feel like you need to at least like go there to actually see how the music is being made and understand how the industry works and how things happen. Do you get me? So that was the plan. So when we released Sugar, we were already planning to go to Niger. Do you get me? So it wasn't like we just sort of like just disappeared.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, that's what I was talking about, like, with the fall off thing. Like, when you're like, what does falling off mean?
Yeah.
Because for us, if I don't see you in front of my face anymore,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, what happened to him? He fell off.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
No, because even when we were in Niger as well, like we did some things as well in that space. Like we contributed to the industry in that space because over there I was able to like defend, like write for people as well, meet a bunch of people, like most of you like your top guys. You get me? And even with that as well, during the time there was not really anything. Remember, like when it comes to this case, right, where if this guy and this artist make song, that's what it's gonna sound like. Like during that time, there was no, it didn't really exist in Afrobeat space. Then that was like early TikTok days. So, but we actually thought of doing that in the Afrobeat space, which led to like crazy numbers in regards to we're getting like DMs from different people and stuff because it was new then in that industry. So it was more of like we were doing stuff over there, but probably not, people were not really seeing here.
Yeah, didn't translate.
Do you get it? But we're doing like a lot of stuff over there.
It goes back to what you say. It's like we live in such a, or like our own bubble. It's like as if I'm not seeing it, it's not happening.
Yeah.
Like we always say, there's a Irish podcast that sell out the Tree Arena. I've never heard of them until they sell out the Tree Arena. Then I'm looking at them like, but they're not in my eye line. Even till today, I don't know who's on that podcast. But if a podcast can sell out the Tree Arena, it's obviously
That's a big fucking podcast.
Bro. It's obviously a massive podcast. But so yeah, it was. Why did you decide to come back? What happened?
No, we only went there like just to learn. To be honest, it wasn't really like, bro. It wasn't really like a permanent thing. To be honest,
How did TF Click come about?
Oof, weird. That was like true. Like that was in school, so it was crazy because funny story. So it's more of like because I used to like dance and stuff. So just more of like just in school, just do here and there. But then Sandra came he just moved to Dundalk at the time, so he raps at the time.
Yeah.
So I was like, so it was like, oh.
I wonder if I can still find his old rap on YouTube.
then we like, I think we happened to be like in the same class. So it was like, oh, by the way, I rap, yada yada yada. It was like, oh, like this guy told me you sing for me. I'm like, bro.
Hey, yo.
I'm like, yo, too soon.
I just met you.
So yeah, so I just went. I think I went over to his house and then we made a few songs, and from there that was how it started, to be honest.
Yeah.
And then we started the journey from there. It was crazy. And
where did the name TF Click come from?
oh, funny thing, because we were called The Future before, so because then Future came, and I was, damn, we have to change the name now.
Okay.
Then we changed the TF, which is The Future Click.
Oh, that's fair enough because
TF starts with the future. Oh my god!
Yeah.
You know when you've seen something for so long, and
Yeah.
you never knew what it was.
They were like, oh, it's because even with the name The Future at the time, so it was more of like we've done a few things like in the doc as well at the time. We did like our school talent show, won that school talent show. Then we did the old sort of like the Dundalk talent show. We were like invited as like the special guest at the time as well. So we're like doing bits, right? So then we're like, oh, then we have to change the name. We're like, oh shit, we can't really change everything completely. Let us just still sort of have that name in the new name. Do you get me? So that's why we just kind of switch it up into that.
so you're doing solo. Music.
Yeah, we've always been releasing solo stuff. Though.
Again, so that's what we're saying because
But it's just not really like
the
the focus. You get me?
Okay.
It's just been really just
and
the group
CF Click
thing.
still continuous thing now. Or?
Right now it's just more of like we're just really more focused on like the solo stuff
Okay.
at the moment. Do you get me?
No, I
Will,
completely get
do you
it.
think you guys will come back to TF Click again?
Yeah, it's possible.
That's not. I'm not saying is it possible because anything is possible.
Yeah, it is
going to happen.
No, the thing is like it's just more of like because what happened was like we've been focused on like doing the group thing for a long period of time. Do you get me? So just more of like okay, we have like other sort of solo because we have like a bunch of songs and it's more of like we can't really like some songs don't really fit the crew.
Yeah.
And they just don't want to waste it.
Okay.
Then it's like, oh, then that means we have to find a way to walk around this. You get me? So it's just really just that. Because we still have like, like hundreds of songs
Unreleased.
together unreleased.
What is wrong with these guys? They just
music.
hoard music.
No,
and then
'cause-
the sound changes and all that music is useless.
No, music is never useless. Like the idea never goes to waste. You can just put on a different sound.
Fair enough.
Do you get me?
No, I hear that.
Because
The idea never-
there's a certain
it's not
artist I've
waste.
been hearing the same snippet on different beats for like 10
Bro,
years.
them ones, they'll just be sharing the same. I'm like,
Bro,
bro.
I was like, you listen, like, this is the first time I'm listening to this song, but I know all the lyrics.
Yeah. No, like the thing is like, because bro, music is hard, bro. Like people don't understand what goes into music, in like putting stuff out. So a lot of the times, like artists want to make sure that things are in place before they release it. because before we went, before I left here, I used to believe that you can just release music and it just goes and just blows up, bro.
Nah.
When we went over there, bro, 95% of the time, it's never like that. Even though it looks like it is like that, it's not like that.
Yeah.
No, I 100% see, because I've said it recently over the last month, because we have loads of artists at summertime people are releasing. I'm like, I'm glad they're understanding like the marketing, the promotion, the rollout aspect of it. Because as good as you are, if you releasing a song and nobody knows about it, like what's the point? If you can't put it in people's faces, and that's one of the feedbacks we got from Deji's brothers. Like, podcast is good, I just don't see you guys anywhere, and we have to learn. Like, all right, we have to be in people's faces. Like, there's no point to having an enjoyable song or a good song or giving that much time into a song, but then you don't know how then to put it in people's
like
faces.
a lot of artists, they get really overwhelmed with like music because it's just a lot. I mean, like, think about it this way, right? To put out one song, you've probably recorded like 20, 50. And not 20, sorry, like you record like loads of songs. It depends on the work ethic of the artist, right?
Pick which song you want to pick.
Do you get me? But then each song might take you, sometimes it might take you 3 hours, sometimes it might take you a week, sometimes it might take you more. So by the time you release that song and then people don't really mess with it, then you're like, oh, Jesus Christ. Well, people don't really see it as in you've put in that amount of work. They just see it as just one song.
We see 4 minutes of a month's work.
Do you get me? Yeah. But we've been putting in like work like heavy. So it's crazy.
Is that discouraging?
It is.
Demoralizing.
It is like it's. But for me, because I'm sort of different with the way I think about things like that when it comes to music. Because I'm not really motivated with the results. It's more of like the process,
if I
right?
enjoy this.
Do you get me?
Then, do you not then prefer just being a songwriter?
I do like aspect of songwriting.
No, but not like, okay, see, you're like, I thought, because like there's a lot of songwriters that obviously they write songs, and then they don't actually want the fame or they don't want any of that, so they'll just write songs, give it to an artist. You go and pop, you go do what you want to do. Do you get what I'm saying? And if you're saying that you don't really care about you more care about the music and the outcome of the song rather than, oh, if this song pops and blows or whatever.
Like if it pops, it's a good thing.
Would you not just then, not like, obviously I will take it if it
Yeah,
pops.
bro, hey.
If that is the part that you enjoy, why then put yourself through the other shit when you don't have to?
No, because so when I'm talking of in regards to like the process, right? In regards to not necessarily the result, it's more I'm talking the process in regards to like the putting the songs together and also what's like the process of actually planning the release of it, the artistry. Because bro, releasing music is art as well. It's not just recording. Do you get me? When it comes to the process of putting it together, making sure it goes a certain way. Like I love that too as well. It's not just about just saying bad, because when it comes to like planning in regards to like our releases and stuff, apart from making the music, like I'm one of the guys that really just behind those things in regards to like, okay, let's do this way, let's put it this way, let's put this way. You get me? So like I really love that too as well. It's not just about just recording the music. I want to be part of when it comes to like putting it out, what kind of content we need to shoot or visuals, or maybe let's try this platform, that kind of thing.
The fact is you enjoy that. I think that's actually important, because that's the part you spend most of the time on.
Yeah,
like
bro.
If you don't enjoy the aspect that you're spending most of the time on, and you're waiting for the result, and the result, for example, could last like once it's released, it's a week. Because I was thinking about it. We had so many artists. I was like, so once like JLOL, Smiles, and Joe Venture, after they released that song, the project, what did they do then? Like that part is finished. Yeah. So it was like a years and a half worth of work for first week sales, because people look at the first week really. So after that first week's gone, the first 2 weeks is gone.
No, like that's what artists just need to plan. Just plan ahead, like bro. Like a lot of artists needs to like. So the way I think artists should work is more of like just have like a bunch of stuff lined up. So like as one is finishing, is dying down, another one is coming out. You're working on the next. Because like it's crazy, because it's a lot of work to like start then recording, then thinking, oh, how am I gonna release this? But just have like your stuff lined out, and then you can just start releasing them like constantly.
Obviously you sent us your project and we listened to it. How did you decide? You sent us 5 songs really. I don't know how many songs are gonna be on this project.
Yeah, I want 5.
Okay, great. Yeah. So how did you? Because you said you have to you have to record a lot.
Yeah.
Why'd you pick these 5 then?
So basically, like the aim of the project is just really just to showcase myself, right? And it's literally just show different sides that I feel people haven't really heard me on yet. just to sum it up, there's still a lot more.
Yeah.
But I just have to just shortlist it to like 5 because I feel like 5 is like a magic number.
No,
When it comes to release, you hear like music, do you get me?
I hear that.
Something I can listen to
That it's not too
on
much.
a drive.
Yeah.
And before I get to my destination, the last song
And
is
then
played.
it introduced me to you.
Yeah.
Because the chemistry and Chioma,
Yeah.
those were the ones I like. And I was saying it to Deji, I'm like, it's kind of it's easy digestible. I can put it on in the background. I'm cleaning the house. I can put it on a barbecue.
Yeah.
And it gives me an insight of what kind of music you make.
Yeah.
So when you start giving me more of like, if you start giving me more of like the heavy stuff, I'm like, you know what? You give me the digestible stuff.
Yeah.
It's the reverse of what I was saying earlier. Because again, Smiles had probably released music before that, but I didn't hear it.
Yeah.
So to his fans, it's like, we've heard all the vibes. I'm already invested in him.
Yeah.
Let me hear what his life was like a year ago.
Yeah.
But I wasn't there for that process. I'm coming into this stage of his career,
Yeah.
and I'm hearing this. I'm like, maybe it's a bit heavy for me. But for you, this is the first time I'm hearing you. I'm hearing like Chemistry, Chioma, Tipito. I'm like, this is easy to listen to. That's just put in the background.
Yeah, like,
so when you do decide to
it.
be like, let me rap about my life story, talk about my upbringing.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna be like, you know what? Last time you gave me something digestible, and I could easy listen. Let me go away.
But like,
those songs I
but
like.
I feel like that's really how I make my music, to be honest. It's more of like, it's not just because, bro, some artists just make some like insanely dope music, right? But they're not thinking of how people are actually going to digest it.
Yeah.
So it's more of like, it's just like food, for example, right? We don't really digest the food as we're eating it. We have things that breaks it down for our body to understand it. So it's more of like, you just point these ideas out to people, but they don't really get it.
Yeah.
So for me, it's more of like, I do think of how I want to break it down to make sure it's digestible for people like to listen to. It's not just because, bro, for example, Tibito, right? It's like a sad song,
Yeah.
but you can't really tell because basically it's more of like a relationship that kind of lost its spark, and then the person is asking for like a reassurance.
I'm gonna go back to that.
And then what's called? And then you got to tiptoe around their feelings. And all
Do you
that.
get me? So it's more of like, are you with me or against me? Let me know. Walking on eggshells all around you, Tibito.
So, yeah.
Do you get me? So it's more of like someone really just asking for reassurance.
Because I said it to Deji. I was like saying like it was very digestible and very palatable to listen to. And a lot of the projects that I've listened to this year, I always say this: I'm new listening to Irish music, and I try more so now because we have a podcast and artists wants to come on. When listening to Travis Nelson was about maybe 8 songs, Big Joe was 6 songs.
Yeah,
and a lot of the albums.
that tape was cool.
Yeah, a lot of songs were like 6 to 8 songs, and it was because it was my introduction to them.
Yeah.
Very digestible songs. Like my broski say we don't need validation. I'm like, oh fuck, let me just
let's go.
So I kind of like that, and I had the same thinking that when I was listening, I'm like, he's just giving us a sample, essentially of the music he makes, a taster. So when he comes with the heavier or longer body of work, you're already invested. So I'm glad you see it.
I have a question for you. Hold on, I just need to find the track name.
What track is that?
Track 1, Chemistry.
Yeah,
oh yeah, Chemistry. Yeah,
Chemistry and Chioma, my personal favorite.
yeah.
Honestly, Trauma I'm not the biggest fan of.
Yeah.
Like Chemistry and Maltina. Maltina's my vibe.
Really?
Maltina's my vibe.
Do you actually know the funny thing, right? I wasn't actually meant to release Martina, right? So it was crazy because what happened was I actually recorded Martina in Nigeria. That was like last summer. So I went over for like 2 weeks. So we're like, you know what? Let's just have like a writing camp. So I had like we booked like an AP. Then we had like different producers come in, different songwriters, my friends. We just there for like 3-4 days. And Martina was like probably like the first track. And the funny thing was when we started recording it, it was like I think it was around like 9:10 in night time. And then by the time we got to the I think to the middle of it, bro, everybody was asleep. Even the producer was like falling asleep. Like, I'm like, bro, what's going on? So he went to bed, right? He went to bed, then I was just recording. I just finished it up. And then the next morning, I was like, bro, I think we got one. And then we just listened. I'm like, whoa, it is actually crazy. So it's actually just mad in regards. But then the thing was like after I sort of like now recorded like more songs. So Martina was like, it's all right. Do you get me? So what happened was I just put it on my TikTok and I was like, and then people were asking, oh, what song is that? What song is that?
Okay.
Then I was like, oh, okay, that means
Well, see, this is the thing, though. Yeah. You see the way that you guys hoard music, right?
Yeah.
You hoard music and you listen to it for so many times.
Yeah.
That it's almost. Have you ever taken a picture? And if you look at the picture too long, you start seeing all the things that are wrong with the picture, and then you hate the picture.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that's what happened with music? Well, not hate it. You just kind of
the thing is, it depends, right? Because like different artists have different plans for different songs, right? For me, for the old Martina thing, it was like I didn't have a plan for that song, but it was just more of like, okay, I'm not really ready to release the other ones now, but I feel people like this, so let me just put it out.
Yeah.
Do you get me? But like I feel like with artists, it's more of like we try to plan things in our head too much because we understand that you can't just release music and think it's gonna go anywhere.
Yeah.
You have to like do some few pushing behind it. But then if you don't have those structure in place, then like, okay, so why do I need to release it?
Yeah, I've got a question that's going to lead to my question.
Okay.
How do you write music? Like, because I feel like with songwriters, they have this talent of being able to, like, it might not be their experience, but they can see something, say, and then speak about it as if it was them. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With you, is it more a lot of your experiences, your life that is like, oh, this is what I've experienced, this is what I feel, let me write it down?
It depends. Like sometimes might be my experience, and sometimes it might be just think of like a cool sort of topic or cool sort of thing. I'd be like, oh, that would actually be cool. Or maybe like I haven't really heard it in
like
a song.
storytelling.
Storytelling. Do you get me? Like for me, like I know that when it comes to Afrobeat, it's more of like vibe and everything. But for me, it's more of like, even though it might be vibe, but for me, like the melodies have to like
Makes sense.
make sense. It can't just be any random, because bro, a lot of artists people just remix the same melody. Like, oh, I'm like, bro, just try to do something different. So for me, it's more of like melody is number one for me, and then when it comes to like, so it's more of like my experiences. Sometimes it's just kind of make up stories and feel like it's cool. Or maybe someone tells you something, they'll be like, oh shit,
that'd be a cool
I'll
story.
use that for
Okay,
like
so
for
now
a song.
this brings me to my question. So Chemistry Master, very, very interesting track. Have you experienced somebody, like maybe a girl you talk to, and then it's like your energy is just crazy? And is that how that song came about?
Asking you.
It's like, what are you telling me?
You wrote the song now.
Yeah, I did. No, okay, wait. Let me adjust. Nah, but
Baby, if you're listening, he's talking about you. whoever it is.
These guys, I don't know what you guys are trying to do right now.
Fair.
No, but like,
Look,
it was just more of like, I've heard stories. I've heard people saying things of that line, like, oh yeah, I met this girl, and then obviously I've had like personal experiences as well at some point. So it's more of like, okay, I'm like, okay, I haven't really heard this when it comes to the Afrobeat sort of space. So it'd be cool to kind of make like a dreamy Afrobeat type song. So that was the whole idea for that song. Funny enough, I actually was meant to have like Unique Soul on it, but hey,
Shout out Unique.
shout out Unique still.
Oh,
Tita.
Oh yeah,
Tita music, yeah.
Sorry.
Actually, my question was like going back to what we were speaking of earlier, Tipito. Yes.
Oh yeah, Tipito, yeah.
Yeah. So you're talking about the experience of like the love ending. What? Sorry.
It wasn't ending, so it was more of like a relationship that kind of lost its spark along the way, and then you're asking for reassurance.
Yes. Is that a personal experience that you're in a relationship and the relationship just loses its spark?
No.
Oh.
But it's just, it happens in
No,
relationships,
of
though.
course. That's why I kind of wanted to touch on it, because I remember the other day, I'm chronically online. Someone on Twitter was saying like someone just falling out of love with you. Like,
It happens.
And it happens, and I've experienced it when like the line was like, "You're just there." And hearing that with someone that I was with for like so long, like 5-6 years at the time, and they're just looking at me, just like, "I don't feel anything. I feel like you're just there." And I was like, but your egos at the time, you're like, "What? How does the spark on
Well, you
Twitter
feel
just
that
loses?"
though. You feel that, like you can tell.
You can tell sometimes.
It's not the same.
I could, the person of me, it felt the same for me. It felt the same or very similar to what it was. It never felt like. See, the thing sometimes that women is, because I think they're naturally like nurturing and giving and caring. It's within their nature.
Yeah.
So even if they're starting to fall out of love, they're better at still doing those things than say men are.
I don't think so.
think
I don't
so?
think so.
I think like
I didn't really.
if you
No, I don't think so. I feel like men. Oh man, I don't want this to be the topic again. But like, bro, I'm tired of seeing this thing on TikTok. But I just feel like when it comes to like relationship, right? I feel like men, if the guy is really like in it, I feel like men can still, what's the word I'm looking for?
Endure.
Do you get me? And really still keep to their word, even though they might feel
Despite
a certain
how
way.
they feel.
Do you get me? But when it comes to females, I don't think it
I'm
is.
talking about energy. Like you can tell. Like, you know when you walk in the room and your wife is pissed off.
Yeah.
You know. Do you get what I'm saying? You can feel it. Do you get what I'm saying? And I feel like if you're paying attention, if your wife is falling out of love with you, or like you can feel that she doesn't love you the same, there's no way you don't feel that.
Let me say this then. As obviously when you're early days, the love and the spark, it's like 100.
Yeah.
10 years in, it's like not cohabiting. It's like more of a colleague. You live together. The spark isn't as intense. You won't be like saying, "Oh, I feel that love every day." It's like, "Oh, this is my brethren that we share a life with," essentially. So would you still be able to feel it 10 years down the line if the relationship was a bit like, oh, this is kind of what the relationship?
I think so, yeah. Because like,
I don't know.
because I feel like people mistake the like
Spark
that
stage.
that euphoric feeling you feel like when you're falling in love and all of that, and like the romantic. I mean, like the
flowers,
honeymoon phase and all of that.
phase.
That's not like
Prince Charming.
Once you get past that shatters, and it's just this is me or you now. Do you know what I'm saying?
just the two people.
Like I feel like you'd be able to tell. Like you can tell. Like if you can tell if your wife is angry or annoyed, or your girl is angry or annoyed, you can also tell it's like. You know that joke that I usually say, you ain't laughing the same no more. You get what I'm saying? Like when I get around, you might get a bit more eye roll or do you get what I'm saying? You're trying to be cute with her. Just, leave me alone, man. Do you get what I'm saying? You can feel it, like.
No, fair enough. Well, yeah, because that's why I kind of asked that question because it's like I've had the situation where it's like you're just there, and it was kind of like so the spark just died along the way. Nah, granted. I definitely participated. I definitely did help myself. So I don't like to sit here and play victim because I wasn't the victim. I love
accountability.
I definitely was. I don't want to be like, oh, she just fell out of love with me. No, I definitely did something that played a part. It just felt like, sorry?
Sorry, have you ever been in the verse where you're the one that you're kind of like, it doesn't even have to be your girlfriend, someone you're linking, it's like, I'm just not on you like that anymore.
Have I ever had that situation?
Yes.
Have you?
Why are you asking me? Why are you involving me in this?
Wait, what? No, I don't think so. I don't think I've just never like, I'm just not feeling this anymore. No, I don't really. I've never felt that. I've had the benefit of like the girls that I've dated or gone out with. They've actually been very good to me. Like, so I've never had, if they've never got to a point where I start to feel like that or it just died off or it died off too early before I could feel like that. There's only 2 situations that I've had that went on longer than like 18 months.
Yeah, but but like the thing is like somebody can be good to you and you still just.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I've never really felt like.
Out of love, like.
Yeah, like instantly just out of love.
I've actually never felt out of love before, to be honest. No.
Yeah, because when situations have ended, there's always been a reason why it's ended, but it's never been like the love on my part. Anyway,
so what you're saying is essentially they always break up with you.
See, I'm the problem. I've said this on the podcast before, but I've been the problem in like nearly all situations. I know that though. I know what the problem was.
All right, so being a Nigerian man,
yes,
they say that you use sweet words and everything.
Yeah, we
also being a singer and a songwriter.
You say it's a demon.
I think I know where
if the shoe fits. But like, cause like being a singer and being a songwriter and like being able to write about love and all of this kind of shit.
Yeah.
Like, what is love to you? Like, what do you think love is like?
Bro, that's a big question.
So how old are you first before we?
For security reasons.
Oh,
he said no, I'm a big man.
Well, for security reasons. But
security reasons.
What's love?
Because
that's a big.
The reason why I ask, right, is because you not only do you sing about love, you sing about heartbreak, you sing about all these things, right?
Yeah.
And they always say for you to understand something is when you can explain it to somebody or explain it to a 5-year-old. So for you to make music that resonates with people, especially about stuff like love, you have to have an understanding about love.
Have you ever been in love?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and what is love to you? Like, there's no right or wrong answer. It's just like, what is it to you?
To me, I feel like when it comes to love, it's more of being able to treat someone the way you would like to be treated.
Interesting.
Do you get me?
Yeah. Like the standards that you have upon yourself, or for how you like to be treated, is how you would.
Because if you don't want to be treated a certain way, or if you don't want the person to act a certain way, you shouldn't do the same. And
that's why sometimes love can be hard because we're all conditioned to how we're treated and what we accept to be treated as different from our households. Yeah. Like if someone is treated where her dad gave her lifts everywhere, let's say for example, so she had that princess treatment at home, and that's how she sees it now. It's like, oh, that's how I like to be treated. That's how we treat you. So why you not treat me that way? Yeah. But if you had a weird dynamic with your parents at home and you're very independent, you're looking at that person of like, brother, go do driving lessons. That can happen. That could make the dynamic at home hard. But yeah, how do you see love? Actually, I'm to ask you this.
For the longest time, I saw love as like sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? Like being able to sacrifice for somebody.
I think it still is, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I feel like, yeah, like just fuck it with somebody and just being able to like. Also, you know, I don't know. I actually don't know. Like I can sit here and waffle, but I actually just don't know.
No, I feel like it changes like at
That's
some point.
also true.
I think it changes. You kind of like it becomes. I don't know. It like you tend to like sort of have this sort of like an I won't say is it inspiration or something. Another sort of view, right, on what you think love is, and have another sort of completely different view when it attain like a certain like level. Do you get me? I feel like it really changes. It just really depends on where you are in your life.
Yeah,
I think that's because bro, the love that we think we know or that we it's going to be totally different from what our parents think love is. Yeah. Do you get me? And that's really just because of the level that they are.
The love you want now, the love that I wanted at 17 was different love I would want at 25.
The love you wanted at 17 was sex, bro.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's different. And then at 25, it was like, do you know what? I'm finding myself as a person that maybe I like to talk and interact. So I want someone that I can talk and interact with. When you get to like 35, you're like, we're building a life together. I want life at home to be as easy as possible. So say, for example, if I'm coming home, my missus is not home, she'll text me, your food's in the microwave.
That's love for you.
That's love right there.
At this stage, when I was 17, if I'm going to your house and you see your food's in the microwave, you're like, I'm here to pipe, man. I'll eat food at home.
See this guy. See this guy.
But
my life.
But, okay. You know what? Yeah, how the way that you want to be loved now, does that mirror your parents' love in any way?
Yeah, in a way, yes.
And
because I feel like when it comes to love, I feel like our first version of idea of what love is from our parents.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like there's gonna be like some elements of that in like the kind of love that we want. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we do have
we give as well.
That we give as well. Do you get me? Obviously, we are like our own person as well. Yeah. Obviously, we do develop some few things along the line as well, like different sort of experiences. Life be lifing, many things. Baddies be baddies. You get me? Many things. So then at some point, then you tend to like, I guess you tend to like develop what you want, what kind of love you want, but then there's gonna be a lot of like influences from our parents too as well at some point.
Yeah, I get that, and I wanted to also ask you this on the music, because I know you're on the call. I remember this because you're on the live with Jafaris, and then he recently gave feedback, let's say, to an artist, and an artist didn't take it pretty well.
Oh yeah, I know.
So how do you feel like? Because I always have this conversation with Ron. Shout out Ron. Yeah. And Ron is like, sometimes I'm like, yeah, it's like for his first project or for this album coming out of Ireland, it's very good. Yeah. But he's always telling me, he's like, we need to stop doing that. We need to take
we need to stop doing that. Like I'm like, bro, if your stuff ain't hard, if it's not hard, right? Because we tend to be like, oh, this is it's good because Ireland. No. F that. Mm-hmm. Like, if it's not hard, it's not hard. Period. Like,
let me give pushback on that, though. This is my pushback on that. It's like, my thing is, for you to conquer the world or to be measured against the world, first you have to conquer where you're from, innit?
Okay,
I don't feel anybody has conquered Ireland. Like, even if you to go to represent Ireland in the Olympics, you have to be the best in the country. So for me now to put you against Stormzy when you're not even the best in the country, I don't think I'm doing. But beat the competition here first.
But the thing is, I'm talking about when it comes to the quality of the music, right?
Okay.
Because indirectly, right? Yeah. Regardless of whatever anyone wants to say, you're competing with the best of the best.
Yes.
Regardless. Yes, because if you release music now, bro, you listen to J. Cole, you listen to all these guys, right? Yeah. You're like psychologically, right? You're already putting the music beside those guys. Yeah. Indirectly, you are.
I know.
Indirectly.
I don't think
like your level of what good music is. Yeah. You already have the standard of what good music is in your ears, in your head. So whenever
I don't think that line of thinking is wrong.
No, it's not wrong. I'm only saying, like, regardless when it comes to artists, like that's why I'm saying that you can't really be saying, oh, we shouldn't be saying, oh, no, because you're competing with the big guys.
Yeah, you know what it is, yeah. Football analogy, right? You're comparing a championship player to top prem players. That's how I see it, right? Because when I'm saying that for where you are, it's good. Like, I don't think somebody like Smiles should be in the same conversation as somebody like Stormzy. Not because the talent might not be there. It's just that Stormzy, like, there's levels to everything, right? Yeah. And I feel like when we're comparing them to other people in different places, we shouldn't be comparing them to the stars. We should be comparing them to the person that is just dropped their first project, but we don't know that person.
Okay. What I'm going to say is this. I get that when it comes to like football and stuff, but the question is when it comes to making music, what really makes a good song in regards to like if you're saying like Stormzy for example, right? When it comes to creating music, what are the things that he needs to create a good song? And what are the things that someone from Ireland needs to create a good song? It's practically not that much difference.
Okay.
It's not like football. Football, you need some
I
mad stuff, right?
No, but I don't think that's right, because the thing is, like,
I'm not talking about the clout.
Forget
the
about the notoriety, whatever. We're just talking about in simply creating the music.
Yeah.
The amount of money that he will spend mixing his song alone is probably more than you spent on your whole project.
True.
So, like,
but but bro, you'd be surprised, bro. These guys, they do record in a bedroom, bro.
No, but
I thought you were saying that some guys are spending money, but it's not just banging like
bro.
that. There's that too.
There's that too.
You are spending money.
Some people do spend money on mixing.
The reason why I say this, right? Like, I'll put it in terms of podcasting, right?
Yeah.
There are people out there that are in their first 13, 14 episodes of podcasting, right?
Yeah.
And for them, I can't put them on the same level as like a 90s babies that have been doing it for 7 years and it's just natural to them. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, so there's things that you know now that you didn't know when you were dropping your first song. Definitely, your first song at the time was good for you where you were at.
No, you can't
judge
what I'm saying. With the fourth songs though. Fourth song.
No, but when I say first song, first project, whatever, like, do you get what I'm saying? It was good for you where you were at. So when I say, for where he's at, like, okay, right.
No, for where he's at is different, but when the conversation is, we say for Ireland.
No,
the reason I'm saying this, right, is because of kind of the experience I've had when I was in Nigeria, because I was able to actually see how this music is being created. Bro, most of the dope music, Afrobeat wise, that you're listening to, they're created by people on the ground.
Yeah.
People that don't really have that much sort of probably clout as a big artist that probably releases it, right? They're being written by people like me and you. That's how the music is being made. And that's how it goes.
Yeah.
Do you get me? So it's more of like, so that's what I mean by when it comes to the quality of music and in regards to like when it comes to the quality of music in general, right? I feel like it shouldn't be, it's good for Ireland. It's just it's fair good, enough. Period.
Like for me, my standard is, if I'm out at a barbecue or if I'm out, I'm in a car and there's people in my car and I fling your song on the playlist, if nobody says anything, good or bad, you're good. But if you play something, I'm like, what the fuck is that shit? That's when I'm like, your music isn't up to par. Do you get what I'm saying?
There's a lot of them.
Do you get what I'm saying? It's like, can your music sit? Can your music sit? Like, people don't have to be like, oh my god, what song is this? And Shazam in it. But they also just have to say, don't like. You know when like you're not really listening to this background noise, but you take a second, it's like, that's so bad, I need you to stop it, even though it is background noise.
How bad could that be?
There's people that are bad, bro.
My initial point is like, do you think we say that to soften the blow? Like, it's good for Ireland because we're too worried about criticizing each other. We're too worried about being honest. Because after that's why I said the content that Jafaris was doing about Loop Heavy song.
I feel like
it was being honest.
Yeah, I feel like the scene needs it because I was actually in the studio with them. Like, wasn't the last week? We were actually just talking about music in general. Like, I feel like when it comes to Ireland or whatever it is, like in regards to the music, I feel like we need a lot of great music. We need a lot of them, not just like 5 or 6 people doing it. We need like
a whole industry.
A whole. Do you get me? That's how, like, I feel like the culture can sort of like shift.
That's what
because if there's not that much dope music
in every industry, you
need a lot.
The United's great for the great people. Joe Rogan said the great people need great people. Yeah, because that's how you elevate the greatness. That's how you create an industry. If you had one good podcast, then the podcast industry of scene isn't probably what it is. Yeah. But the more good podcasts or the more good musicians there is, you can actually build it. Yeah, own industry.
Like definitely.
And then we can only grow through feedback and honest feedback, and people have to be ready to handle it. Because that's how. Like, obviously, I brought it up to you because I always tell Ron, as like, sometimes I feel like maybe we are judging them harshly to saying like, let's judge them on a level playing field with the world. Whereas I'm seeing people doing their first projects, their first media run, I'm seeing people's first. Yeah. So maybe I'm looking at them like, give them grace of growth. Yeah, you're in the music scene, so you're looking at it as like, no, judge it for being good if it's being good.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like as an artist, you still do, because right now with the way the whole internet is, if you put something out, it goes out to the world in a way. Do you get me? So if you are not really being honest with the person, then they get like culture shock.
Yeah, no, I get it, because that's what I was saying before you came, and I was saying this to Deji. I was like, I listened to his album, I was like, from what I heard, it was like it's a good sample into what music he makes.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could be there and be like, this is his best project, because I'm like, he's just give me, and I'm glad that you kind of said the same things. Like, I want to do people.
Yeah.
This is a feed into who I am. So the next one you might be like, you know what?
Yeah.
I've given people a bit of a taster.
Yeah. Funny, I'm actually having like a private listening at thingy.
Where?
The Jungle Beam.
Jungle Beam when?
The this Sunday coming.
This Sunday. I won't be here for.
Oh yeah.
private listening.
Oh, chill. Yeah, it's traveling. You know.
Okay, but yeah,
I'll pull up our
I
representation.
always ask
definitely.
this, so you're dropping a project soon.
Yeah.
I always ask artists this, what do you want this project to do and what's your aim to achieve with this first project?
For me, like it's more personal. It's more of like I want the project to mean something to people in regards to like to be like a soundtrack of their life at some point. With like any song in it, I feel like I'll be happy to do that, because great music is fun, it's great, but you do want people to sort of like, you know, listen and also like enjoy it. Do you get me? I just want people to just enjoy, because with me it's more of like the way I make music is like, even though it might be like a sad story or whatever it is, I still sort of make it into like a celebration to find my way around it. Do you get me? So I feel like when it comes to my music, I want this to just be like something that really means something to people, that they can really just vibe to and enjoy. And even when it comes to like them even want to like maybe listen to the details and stuff, they can tell that okay, there's a lot of detailing in them, because it might not sound like there's a lot of detail in it, but like if they tend to like listen attentively to it, they can tell that okay, there's actually a lot of like, it's not just putting bish bash boss together. It's like just like, you get me? It's like there's a lot of detail in it. That's really what, like, you get me?
Fair enough.
Just want people to feel.
Do you have a name for it yet?
Oh no, not yet.
Okay.
Oh, we haven't reached that part yet.
I haven't reached that part yet.
What's called? Because you touched on it before. There was a time when you were doing TikToks of like, oh, if this person was on this,
Yeah.
like being able to emulate sounds and how people sing, their inflections, or even just how they write.
Yeah.
And then being able to put that in the TikTok, like that's why that did crazy numbers.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that being talented in that way?
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's hindrance?
Is what?
Do you feel like it's like it holds you back? Because I feel like sometimes when people are too talented and can do too many different things, it stops them from being as great as they are, because you're so good at everything, but you're not elite at one. Do you feel like that with you?
No, because but the thing I would say is more of like when it comes to doing like things like that, it tend to being put in the box at some point.
Yeah.
Do you get me? Because when we were doing that, it was more of like just like fun. But then we did like about 25 of them, and bro, these things they take ages to get right. Because it's not, even though it looks like, oh yeah, it was just quick, bro. It's not like we released about 25 of them. We still have like loads that we didn't release. That's still probably somewhere in our drive, right? But what we kind of like sort of notice is more of like once you are in that space, you're being really put in like sort of like a box. Then it's really hard for you to now step outside of it. And that's actually one of the reasons why we kind of like stopped doing the skit thing, because we're like, you know what, it's fine. We kind of did what we wanted to do, because then it was more of like we're trying to really bring different sort of artists together in a way, because obviously back in the days, like a few years ago, you see like when it comes to Afrobeat artists, there's like a certain sort of clique only making music with each other, and there's this clique also making music with each other. They were like, you know, it would be nice to have this person from this clique and this person from this group just make music and see what it sounds like. So that was the whole aim, which it kind of like, I think kind of worked, because like most of them were actually viewing the stories and also replying and stuff, and we're actually able to see like some few like collab that happened afterwards. You get me? Which was really good. So we're like, you know what, we kind of like achieved what we wanted to do. So like, let's just really just dead this right now.
That's good, but yeah, I think we always say this at the end of the pod. So yeah, thanks for coming. I know you're releasing music. Anytime you want to.
And yeah, I'm actually releasing like a video next Sunday too as well. For Martina, by the way.
See, that's my vibe.
You get me?
For Martina soon come. So, but yeah, if you have anything that you ever want to promote, anything that you want to talk about, or if you just like say, you know what, I haven't jumped on a podcast in a minute, I want to talk about men's mental health. Just DM us. We're not too bougie, because I'm replying to you. I'm like saying,
we're not too bougie.
There's a lot of people to come.
That's calm.
You got in charge? You charge anything to the game?
Charges to the game? Nah, you got nothing to.
So we have a segment called Charge to the Game where we charge.
Actually, yes, I got something to charge to the game. Go into the desert in 40-degree heat.
See, that's rich man problems.
Yeah. Come on. Wait, why are you sounding like it's sad, bro? Not sad, bro. No, you wanted to go to desert. It's different. You're not forced to it. You wanted to go.
They said we don't feel bad.
Wait, bro. Are you gonna go flex? You know, rent out Lamborghini Urus or something.
Don't worry.
Don't worry. We'll be seeing photo shoots very soon in the desert.
And this is if there's one thing.
I'm already
Jordan's
thinking
a
of
bad bitch.
I'm thinking of captions in my head as we go.
Like captions.
Guy, Jordan is a bad bitch. Bro, Jordan will be out there in different shorts, different colors, everything. You're coming, man. Yeah, what's good? Jordan will be out there in different shorts, different colors, everything, man. Yeah. Jordan's a bad beat to the baddest of bees. What's good, man?
Charges to the game.
I'm charging to the game that grass is beating my ass, bro.
Grow up, man.
Grow up. Wait.
Do you think grass? Do you
think that I want pollen to be beating my ass?
As a man, you know what? I'm adding that to the ick list.
As a man.
Grass is beating his ass.
Bro, hay fever is not a joke, bro. This is beating my ass, bro. Like, oh, man. Like, it's the most annoying thing ever.
Screw off, man. Anyway.
Don't worry. When your time will come, your time will come.
Time will come.
Fam, when you're texting me with red eyes saying Deji.
So Deji, what do you take for this? What should I buy?
I'll tell you charge it.
What's happening with you? Any L's you've been taking lately? Anything inconvenience in your life for you charge to the game?
Bro, I'm living life. I'm living a good life right now.
And enjoyment.
We love to hear that.
We love to hear it. And if you made it to the end of this pod and you didn't like anything that we said on this podcast today, well, you can charge.
Wait. Socials, where can we find you? Where can we find your music?
Yeah. Instagram, Tomad. Twitter, Tomad. TikTok, Tomad Artists. Spotify, Tomad. Everywhere, Tomad.
Thank you for listening. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Shout out.
Shut up.